Do you feel like the Celtics were justified in the actions that they took against you?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Around the Association. Ime Udoka, hired by the Houston Rockets. Man, that franchise can absolutely use it and use a coach of his caliber, at this time. No one will have any more, lottery balls in that NBA draft lottery than Houston Rockets, except for the Detroit Pistons. So they've got the second best chance to end up with the first overall pick in this draft, which we know is huge. And this draft is pretty deep from the way things are shaping up. Now, Ime Udoka was actually asked about the way things played out in Boston after the alleged affair. And, he ended up... Man, the worst thing out of all that is he ended up losing Nia Long behind it, but that's a story for another day. But he spoke on that when he was asked about, the way the Boston Celtics handled his particular incident, going public with it and putting it out. It's almost like someone had it out for him to begin with. Take a listen here what Ime Udoka had to say.
Do you feel like the Celtics were justified in the actions that they took against you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my part in it was to take ownership and accountability for my part. They had a choice to make a decision, and they went that route. And my thing was own up to it, take responsibility, and I served the suspension and had to own it, honestly. So same thing I'll preach to the guys. I can't sit here and not take accountability myself. So it was their right to go about it however they wanted to, and that's the choice they took.
Now, that speaks volumes. He was asked, was the Boston Celtics, do you feel like they were justified in the actions they taken? And he did a masterful job of deflecting, saying what his role was, and he had to own up to what he did that was wrong or what he felt was inappropriate, and on that. And then he put it back on them as far as Boston. Boston had a choice on how to handle it, and that's the choice they made. That's the path they took. So essentially not saying, oh yeah, it's completely justified. I understand why they went that route. I for one felt like they came down a little too hard on this brother anyway, and I'm not the only one. Stephen A. Smith actually spoke in regards to Ime Udoka actually landing this job, and this is what Stephen A. Smith had to say.
I said months ago when Ime Udoka was basically suspended for the year by the Boston Celtics and held captive by the franchise as far as I was concerned, that he was screwed. No pun intended. But I think it's universally known that he had a sexual relationship with someone within the organization. Why was it any of our business? I know personally of an inordinate amount of stories that involved white men who were screwing around with someone internally. I never saw a damn press conference about it. My opinion was keep him or fire him. What you don't do is publicize it. He's the only one screwing. Nobody else was. Everybody else was celibate. They kept their stuff in their pants. They were the Pope. Only black dudes screwing around. I've been covering sports for 30 years. I have never seen a press conference to address somebody's suspension, and everyone knew because of leaks that preceded the press conference, even though they didn't say much in the press conference, that it was about his sexual relationship. I don't want to hear about leaks. The Boston Celtics blew up the story. You could have fired him and said, ask him.
There's Stephen A. I mean, Stephen A. holds no punches, man. Definitely definitely bring up some interesting points, though. Like he said, he's been covering sports and, right up against the teams 30 plus years, and he knows a number of stories where there was affairs and different things going on. Never saw a press conference about it. And I mean, yeah, this the whole thing was kind of blown out of proportion, and it's almost like Boston sabotaged themselves, because I feel like Ime Udoka got the best out of them. Now, not that their current coach isn't doing a phenomenal job now, but he's following the blueprint. He's trying to follow in the steps that Ime Udoka had already created as far as a path and relationship. If you don't believe me, I mean, their franchise player, Jason Tatum, even spoke on it in regards to Ime Udoka and gave him props for what he's meant for his career. Take a listen here at Jason Tatum.
I can't take away the relationship that me and him had and the impact that he had on me in that one season. I love Coach K, I love Brad, I love Joe, I love all those guys, but, just a different kind of relationship I had with Ime, and, probably like my most favorite coach I've had.
I mean, that's wild. Jason Tatum, playing for Hall of Fame Coach K, and he said it's just a different type of relationship he had with Ime Udoka. And he's not the only player I heard say that. I mean, Jaylen Brown. I could have played a number of different, Marcus Smart. A number of those Boston Celtics say the best was brought out of them with Ime Udoka. And then, Boston goes and, pull the shenanigans they pull to, get him removed out of there. But good news for Houston Rockets, man. I'm happy. I'm excited to see what he's going to do there. And the brother can coach whenever, he has, he took Boston to the finals, and their rival, Los Angeles Lakers, one of their, most storied faces to their franchises, Magic Johnson, has to give Ime Udoka his props. This is what Magic Johnson had to say. He said, "I reached out to Ime Udoka to say congratulations on accepting the Rockets head coaching job. Houston is getting a championship caliber coach." Now, that speaks volumes coming from someone that went to 9 NBA finals and has 5 championship rings. I think he knows a little bit about championship caliber. But let me know what you guys think, man. Man, what would it be like? I'm already thinking like if Houston Rockets landed Victor Wembanyama, and that's their cornerstone, man. I mean, they got a chance to get that first overall pick is all I'm saying. They got a really good chance. And, it's, probably them, Detroit, or the 2 front runners. But let me know what you guys think. With Ime Udoka joining Houston, the city is on fire. I will say some of the online comments were wild. They said, you better lock your wives up. I mean, they brutal online. So, look, I hope he doesn't read the comments online, because the Houston Rockets fans, they love him that he's coming here. But it's hilarious, man. I'm going to holler at you guys next time. Peace.